Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Board of Selectmen meeting for April 28, 2014. Can I get approval of our minutes from April 14, 2014 for the regular board minutes?
So moved.
Moved
Second.
by Paul, second by Phyllis. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain, please.
Betsy abstained. Not unanimous, so. Can I get a motion to approve the executive board minutes of April 14, 2014?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
You
Only
wanna-
because I was.
Anyone here for public participation?
I think we did have one sign in, we just didn't grab the form.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome again, Bob Mitchell. Floor is yours. You know the ground rules?
Yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Thank you and good evening. I'm here to speak briefly on the upcoming May 5th town meeting, the garage article, and related to the two citizen petitions, Article 1 and 2. As noted, Article 2 was delivered to the town clerk on April 11th, and within 6 days had approvals from both the selectmen and the FinCom. Whereas Article 1 seems to be traveling a little bit slower. It was delivered, in fact, 10 days prior to Article 2 on April 1st, and has still not been reviewed by board, although I understand tomorrow night it will be looked at by the planning board. Just want to, I know there's a lot of range in the law around these dates and so forth, but it is worth noting that one got approved by 2 boards in 6 days, and the other one seems to be going on at least a couple months anyway. And then along that path, I discovered on the town's website on Saturday, that in fact tomorrow night's planning board meeting is having 2 articles for the development of the Fran properties. One is an A&R, approval not required, which is a nice thing to have for development, and a preliminary subdivision plan. And then after that is the possibility of getting Article 1 moving forward. Related to that is, I have a couple of the date concerns, and that being that there are some other, my understanding was the town meeting was going to be held May 12th, was brought back to the 5th because it was in violation of the town charter 30-day rule. And it seems that there's the majority of articles on that town meeting were approved by the FinCom 18 days prior to town meeting. Don't know when they were submitted in writing to the town administrator, which is required per town charter. I doubt that couldn't have happened prior to that date, so the same issue that caused the town meeting to be pushed forward back a week does not seem to be being applied to almost all the warrants on the article. As per the charter, all warrant articles shall have been forwarded in writing to the town administrator at least 21 days prior to the annual town meeting. And that's about it. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to next week's meeting, and appreciate all your hard work, sincerely. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, may I interrupt the agenda right now and ask Mr. Town Administrator Mayo to respond to us, not to the public?
Certainly, if that's okay. with you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
A couple of things. First, this board did not approve either Article 1 or Article 2. What this board did was place Article 1 on the warrant because it had sufficient signatures, and put Article 2 on the warrant because it had sufficient signatures, as per our charter. Number 2, this board did forward Article number 1, which was a zoning article, to the planning board for their recommendation to town meeting. Article 1 was filed in the evening of April 1st. The next scheduled Board of Selectmen meeting was April 14th, which was the only time that this board could, being in compliance with the open meeting law, refer that to the planning board, which they did. The planning board received that on April 15th, the next day. So then they have their process to go through, and their next meeting was, I guess, tomorrow night, April 29th. So they are hearing it as quickly as they could, wearing the schedule they had. Article 2, which was a citizen petition, did not require going to the planning board because it did not have to do with zoning. So it did not have any of those other statutory requirements around it. So that, both of those items were heard at the same Board of Selectmen meeting as quickly as the Board of Selectmen could hear them. So I don't think you can say that either went down the different path. This board moved on both of them the same as they could and did, and as quickly as they could. As far as town meeting is concerned, town council has answered the questions regarding the fact that the finance committee has not given this town administrator anything in writing, and they never have in my history of being here, and I never remember them doing it before in the history of the charter. Probably that's because I am at every finance committee meeting, so I get their recommendations right then and there, and then I look at their minutes. Finance committee takes all of our articles, the ones that are money-wise, and then they make a recommendation on the floor of town meeting, as we all know who have been there. They do not necessarily send that to me in writing, although I am there when they vote on all their recommendations, so there is no surprise. Town council has taken the position, and I agree with them, that portion of the charter is directive but not mandatory. So I guess the case is if you had a runaway finance committee and an absentee town administrator, I would see that might make some sense. But in this case, where I'm there and I get all their recommendations and have quite a vetting before they're received, I might say, that seems to settle that information. I will tell you that in my tenure in this town, and that's been, 20-plus years that I've been involved in this business, there have been times when we have gone to the finance committee on the very night of town meeting, particularly with contracts. We have 3 contracts right now that will be indefinitely postponed because they haven't been settled, that are on the warrant. Had I been fortunate enough to reach a settlement with the unions and have this board been able to vote on them, we probably would have scheduled a finance committee vote at 6:30 Monday evening, and then they would make their recommendations. So this is not an unusual occurrence. So I think that it had the, to get back to Article 1, had that been filed earlier, the Board of Selectmen had a meeting on March 26th, I believe, on a Wednesday night, because we had the forum on the 24th. Had that come in then, or prior to then, we could have had that on that and sent it to the planning board as we do by course, and they maybe could have had time to fit that in, but because you are dealing with people's property rights, there is a requirement of notification and posting, and there just probably wasn't enough time for them to do that, so I think this board moved them as soon as they had them.
Thank you.
Okay, so Steve, just to make clear so the town knows, with Article 1, there are statutory requirements.
Right.
Posting requirements.
Right.
That are required.
Right, and I think what Chapter 40A, Mass General Laws, Chapter 40A says is that the town meeting, there shall be no vote unless the planning board has made its recommendation. They're given 65 days to make that. That's why oftentimes when I get any zoning articles, when, a lot of people bring them in, they're getting them to us in January and February and March at the latest to move them forward through the process.
But, can I say something?
Go ahead.
Just so, they get 65 days to.
Have a
make-
hearing.
To have the hearing.
Right.
However, that's not why there's a delay here. It's-
No.
They actually have to give a 14-day notice
Exactly.
period to even conduct the hearing.
Exactly.
They couldn't even legally have the hearing in advance of town meeting.
Correct.
Right, so even
Right.
if they
There's no-
had the meeting
there's no-
and said, yes, we recommend yes, it's
Right.
not like they're dragging their feet.
Exactly. They don't have enough
legally-
time. They don't have the
legally
time to do it.
Cannot take the action that's required to be taken before town.
Right,
meeting.
right. And I think the clock starts ticking, when that gets filed with the town clerk. And so that is the date that, once it came in, it was moved as quickly as it could have.
Got it.
Just one needed some statutory requirements and one didn't.
Okay. Anybody else have a question on this
Oh,
issue?
thank you.
Thanks. Next matter on the agenda is the reorganization. Can I get a motion for appointment of chairman? Betsy,
Mr. Chairman, I would like to place the name of Brian Falvey in nomination for the position of chair for 2014-2015.
moved by Betsy,
Second.
second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr.
Unanimous. Go ahead, Phyllis.
I would like, I'm voting for Brian, but I would like to say something,
Sure.
if I may.
Absolutely.
Please. Because I have like 15 names here, and I think it's important that I say this now from my constituents and yours. People who watch the Board of Selectmen's meetings all the time, and I'm sure you'll get lots of compliments afterwards, but I have to relay to you that you have been a really excellent chairman on this board. You've been patient, you've been understanding, and I told him that I would say that to you, because I know we've had a lot of problems that have come in, and you have never lost your patience. And so I think that's important, that you have really been an excellent chairman. And before we go to the vice chair, the same thing was said about Selectman Shuren, because Betsy has a pulse on a lot of things that go on in this town and was able to bring them forward and has been very helpful to me, and so have you. And so I thank you for that.
Thank you for the kind words, Phyllis, and if you can extend my appreciation to the constituents as well. I don't think my name in excellent has ever been used in the same thank you. Appreciate the kind words. So Brian, you're on. You are on.
Mandatory shift.
The floor is yours, my friend.
Mandatory shift.
Okay.
All that kind of stuff is over.
My yeah, thanks, yeah.
I guess I can keep this.
I need two.
Me too.
I'm like,
Floppy so quick.
teapot trying to stout.
No, don't worry, it won't be long, don't worry.
Enjoy.
Thank you. All right. Nominations for vice chair.
I'll make a motion to have Ann Santos appointed as vice chairman.
I'll
Second.
second that.
Okay, seconded by Betsy and Phyllis, even though we don't need a second.
Okay?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One extension.
Aye. Thank you.
Aye.
I accept it.
Paul abstained. Got it. So you have to do the
I
seat
move.
shuffle.
You move.
Mr. Chairman, while Ann is moving, we have a item that is not on our agenda tonight. I'm gonna throw you a curveball at your first meeting. But Chief Smith is here with our newly appointed sergeant, and if he could come up here and introduce him to the board, that would be great.
I won't allow it.
Okay. Tiz would have allowed it. What can I tell you?
Yeah, we don't have time for this. Absolutely, it'd be a pleasure. Come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Congratulations, Brian,
thank you.
Ann.
Thank you.
And Tiz, I couldn't agree more in what Selectman Hull said. I know it's probably been a long year, but for the rest of us, it was a pretty quick year. So congratulations on a job well done last year. And Mr. Chairman, you have big shoes to fill. so
I know. Big guy.
You're up to it. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Mayo, for taking us out of order and giving us the opportunity to speak here. I can honestly say this is the best part of this job, being able to have the opportunity to introduce and promote and hopefully further someone's career. In front of you tonight, it's my honor to present Joe Anderson. Joe is one of our newest sergeants, who we were very fortunate to have drafted from Salisbury PD back in 2011. He joined us after serving up in Salisbury for quite a few years. But since Joe has come here, he not only has been a good police officer, he's been a very good police officer, but he has shown unbelievable leadership. He's one of those officers who just leads by example. He doesn't need stars and bars and stripes and all that stuff on his uniform to show that he's a leader. He is a leader. He's captured the hearts of the personnel within Wakefield PD. He does his job. They look to him for his leadership capabilities. He's very proactive, but he's very compassionate, and he's very considerate of the people that work in the town of Wakefield. He comes from law enforcement. His dad was a Revere PD officer. I guess this goes to show the difference in one's career, but I knew his father well, as he served in Revere PD, and his father's retired, and I'm still here, so if my math is correct, but nonetheless. Joe is a self-starter. He takes his casework from the beginning to the end. He follows it through, always follows it through. He has also won one of our Officer of the Quarter awards. His name is permanently placed on a plaque within the police department, and that's because of his ability to take cases, follow them from the beginning, and finish them up. And when I say finish them up, it doesn't end with the arrest. It ends with the prosecution in court. So it's my honor and my pleasure to introduce to you Sergeant Joe Anderson.
Anybody?
Well, I'll.
Go ahead.
Joe, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That's fantastic. I think we're very fortunate to have leaders in our police force like you, so congratulations. I think it's a job well done and well-deserved, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. As the wife of a sergeant, Lowell PD, who's hopefully going to take the next step with the assessment center this week, but and his father was on the job in Lowell too, so I know that history. So I think it's wonderful to carry that, your dad's shoes, and doing a great job, obviously.
He's very proud. Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Paul?
Congratulations, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Being a homeboy myself from Revere. I
Yes.
Probably know your father well.
Yes, yes.
Why is that?
I'll get there.
Don't even go there.
Well, I'm closer to Chief's age, you know what I'm saying? So I might run into the same crowd as he did.
His father retired early. I just
I know that you mentioned that a couple of times, but congratulations to you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Betsy?
I remember when you were appointed, when you came down, it was Salisbury's loss and our gain.
Yeah.
And here's another example, your living example of the chief that takes the cream of the crop, that brings the cream of the crop to this community. And I think it's wonderful. And they grow within this community. And as I've said so many times, public safety is so important and one of the major responsibilities of this board. I congratulate you. I congratulate the chief. And onward and upward.
Anybody else? Yeah.
Congratulations. The chief knows what he's doing.
Right.
That's great. Oh, and finally, yes, congratulations to you. Nice job, Chief. I know he runs a tremendous department. If he comes in and speaks that highly of you, that means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to the community. So nice job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well done.
Chief, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
That's that?
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Great. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Good night now.
Good night. All right, it's 7:40 PM. We have a public hearing scheduled to start at 7:40. It's item number 6 on our written agenda, so we'll just jump to that.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we go into the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All right, moved by Betsy, second by Tiz. Roll call. Steve, say aye for Phil.
Yeah.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, got it unanimous. We're now in public hearing. This is a hearing regarding OEs at 963 Main Street with respect to their alcoholic beverage license. Attorney McGrail will be representing OE. Come on up.
Can we pull up one more seat? Would that be okay? Absolutely. We need one more.
I know.
I know.
It's hard.
It's hard to stop.
You know, I did that too.
Don't step on my shoes.
I know. Credit.
You know, it's great.
Sometimes to the right.
I'm in the same boat, so. Mr. McGrail, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Vice Chair, members of the board. For the record, Attorney Brian McGrail, offices at 599 North Avenue in Wakefield, representing the petitioner, Oys Inc. to be doing business as Feng's Restaurant at 963 Main Street, also known as 6 Greenwood Street in Wakefield. With me tonight is Juan Fan Yi, Kevin, also known as Kevin, who is the president of Oys. Gia Zing Zing. Okay, Gia is a shareholder in the corporation and also the proposed manager of the liquor license. And also, to my left is Michael Casoli, who is the trustee of Mac Realty Trust. And Mac Realty Trust is the owners of the property known as 963 Main Street and also 6 Greenwood Street in Wakefield. As you know, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, we have submitted a package, which is on your computer, a detailed all alcohol license package and also a common victual license application and entertainment license application for your review and consideration. We have presented this through a publication in the newspaper. It's published in the Wakefield Daily Item, I believe on April 17th. I thank Sherry for her help in that regard. We also provided certified mail notice to all abutters, also to the Wakefield school system, where the Greenwood School is within 500 feet of the property, and the 2 churches down in that area also received certified mail notice of the hearing tonight. This is a proposed 3,900 square foot restaurant to be located at Greenwood Plaza. The addresses I referred to are known as Greenwood Plaza. As I mentioned, the restaurant will be known as Feng's. And it is a sister restaurant of the very successful Oys restaurant located in Reading, Walker's Drive. I believe that's a correct address, up where Home Depot is and Staples and Starbucks. Kevin is one of the owners of Oys in Reading, and they've operated over the last 4 years very successfully. They're very well known and very well respected in that town, and they have a great reputation. Gia recently moved to Massachusetts from Louisiana, where he managed 2 restaurants from 2005 until the present time, until his recent move to Massachusetts. I think it's important to note that Gia and all the bartenders and service staff that will be handling alcohol are proposed and will be tip certified in the event they receive approval from your board and subsequent approval from the ABCC. Oys and these gentlemen are very excited about the possibility of opening in Greenwood. I think as far as the Casolis are concerned, I think it's important to note they're a well-known retail property owner. They own the Greenwood Plaza, which is a very successful plaza in the Greenwood area, kind of a centerpiece for downtown Greenwood. They have monitored and they appreciate the efforts of your board and Mr. Mayo, the town administrator, to promote the town of Wakefield as a venue for folks from outside Wakefield to visit and frequent local businesses. They recognize the positive impact of your efforts and what they've had on their property and also Wakefield as a whole. Your work to promote Wakefield and improve the business environment is working, and it's helping to attract quality long-term businesses such as Oys. Although I think it's important to note the property that we're dealing with on the Greenwood Plaza, as you face the Greenwood Plaza, is to the far right. That property has been vacated for some time, and it's a credit to the Casolis that they have been very selective. Over the past couple of years, they've had opportunities to rent that out, but they were committed to finding a good long-term tenant for themselves and for the area, a type of tenant that could be an anchor for that area to bring more folks down to that area to shop and enjoy it. And now they've found that with Oys, who was committed to be a long-term tenant. We've submitted their lease as part of your package, and it does have its initial 5 years with another 5-year option that goes with that. The Casolis feel that the right fit for themselves in the area are Kevin, Gia, Oys, doing business as Feng's. I think it's important to note that we have been to the Zoning Board of Appeals, and we've applied for and obtained relief from the Board of Appeals relating to the proposal, which is for a 125-seat restaurant. I think it's also interesting that the proposal includes outdoor seating. That was reviewed by the Zoning Board, that there'll be a patio in the front. And it's unique because it's in the plaza. The patio will not be out by the street. It will be set way back. So it'll be a wonderful environment for people to enjoy outdoor dining. in the nicer weather months of the year. I think the board always in these circumstances, looks at the entity and the proposal and says, you know, what do they bring to the table for the town? And I believe that besides the great food that they're known for, they certainly will bring vibrancy to the Greenwood Plaza and to that area as a whole. They bring a commitment to Wakefield by executing a long-term lease and a willingness to invest financially in the property. As you've probably noticed in the application, the proposal calls for a financial investment of $250,000 in improvements to get set up and running. I mean, that's a pretty substantial investment for a restaurant to make in Wakefield, especially in the Greenwood area. They also bring a proven and successful business plan. They're proven in Reading. I think they're well-known there, and they're well-operated. They also bring a clientele, customer base from surrounding communities to Greenwood, which will inevitably turn into clientele for other businesses in the Greenwood Business District and in the plaza. And finally, they bring an increased tax base. The meals tax for this will go directly to the town. I'm sure Mr. Mayo is very pleased with that. With that said, we are seeking numerous things from your board. First of all, we're requesting an all-alcohol license. We're seeking a specific vote that we would ask you to authorize the town administrator to make a finding. There's a specific statute, Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 16C, which states that premises located within a radius of 500 feet to a school or church shall not be licensed for the sale of alcohol unless local licensing authority determines in writing after a hearing that the premises are not detrimental to the educational and spiritual activities of said school or church. So in the event the board is inclined to approve this, we request that you authorize the town administrator to sign something to that effect. As I've mentioned, we're also seeking an entertainment license. They're requesting up to 3 televisions, a CD player, and perhaps a light jazz music on certain nights. And as I mentioned, a common victual license. With that said, Mr. Chairman, on behalf of Kevin, Gia, and Mike, I'd like to thank you for your time and consideration for this application. And we're obviously happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Thank you. Any questions? Paul, go ahead.
Michael, another great job. Thank you. You already had one home run with the yogurt, Boston yogurt going in. This looks like it's going to be abutting it, correct?
Yes.
So it's not going into where the gym side was, it's where the little room was.
If you look at the setback piece, it'd be the left-hand side, so it'd be half of that side of the building.
And
So it would encompass a good part of the gym.
So
About
the
half.
wooden door that's there now, the outside patio will be to the left of that as well?
It would be to the
Right in
left,
front of-
yeah. There'll be 3 openings there.
No, I like that, that looks real good. I think that the addition of your restaurant to that neighborhood is going to enhance the restaurants that are already in that area. It will bring to that a component that isn't there now. So I can see that being something that will increase the business to your plaza as well. So I am in favor of the proposal. I just have one question that I don't know if it was brought up. Hours of operation, Brian? Are you requesting for the all license?
Yeah, I'm gonna defer to, I guess, Kevin on that. Kevin, what are your hours in Reading? What are we doing here?
Our in Reading, that's 11:30 a.m. to midnight in Reading.
Is that Monday
Monday
through Sunday?
to Saturday, and Sunday that's a noon time to 10 p.m. That's a Sunday. And officially we close 10 o'clock Monday to Saturday for the kitchen. And we only serving appetizer and drink after closing 11 o'clock. So we stay another hour just for the people closing, clean up, people stay in the bar, hang out, and we still serving some appetizer for extension for another hours. So that's why we close by midnight though, in Reading.
So 11:30 a.m. Monday through Saturday until 12 midnight, and then on Sunday it's 12 noon to 10, correct? Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else have questions? Steve, what's the latest time anybody has a liquor license in
I
Wakefield?
think it's 12, right? Have we ever gone past 12 with anybody? I don't think so.
We haven't gone past 12, but most of the restaurants that we do give the 12 to,
Yeah.
historically aren't.
They close
open.
early anyway, yeah.
They
Right.
close
I
early.
thought Harrington's had till 1 for some
o'clock.
reason.
I think Brothers is the only restaurant in the town that has a 1 o'clock, and they
I
close at
don't
8:30.
believe they do, but I could check on that for you.
I don't have a problem with it going later, just for those nights when there's a game on or something fun, but,
I mean, you know,
You
if I
don't
may,
need it.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
just for informational purposes, state law says that restaurants cannot be barred from serving alcohol between 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. It may grant the licensing board may grant extended hours between 8 and 11 a.m., which I don't think anyone wants to do that. And extended closing hours between 11 and 2 a.m.
okay,
In no event can sales be between 2 a.m. and 8 a.m.
okay. So 2 a.m.'s the,
That's what you
Right.
have the authority to.
Okay.
To.
okay, but midnight's good enough, or?
Are you comfortable with that, Kevin?
No, no, but, I come up with that, I just saying, just in case I change my mind, I don't know what's latest can serve in Wakefield.
Well, it's up to the board in negotiations with you.
Yeah, okay.
So, that's, you're saying 12, would you like to ask for a little bit later in cases?
Yeah, I might ask for just for weekend hours, that's the only thing I'm concerned about.
For
Friday,
weekend?
Saturday?
Yeah, Friday and Saturday, I don't know how late it's served too, though, so that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Do you know later?
No, not 2.
Not two.
The 1 o'clock
1
on
o'clock.
Friday and Saturday night?
I wouldn't be opposed to the 1 o'clock Friday and Saturday. Right.
They try. Oh,
Reading was at 12:30, actually.
Michael, do you know what
Reading
time
was-
Portobello closes?
Reading
No?
is 12:30.
Curious?
I think he closes at like 11, 12. I'm not too sure though. He's usually in there pretty late. Not like just hanging out.
I'd say 12:30
I'd say
all
12:30.
week myself.
And
It's
just
a
a little
difference.
blanket.
Yeah, it's a difference.
12:30 or 1 o'clock, which one do you prefer?
It's already, well,
Redhead, you wanna do the 12:30 across?
12:30.
Is that what you say?
Tiz was saying 12:30 is all he's comfortable with.
Let it fry.
12:30 across then, except for Sunday? Sunday, 10 o'clock is 10, right? 12 to 12, Sunday, 12 to 10.
12 to 10.
And then Monday through Saturday, 11:30 to 12:30? Is that good?
That's in Reading, though, I don't know about Wakefield. It's-
I think just 12:30 every night. What's the difference?
Exactly.
On Sunday too?
Yeah, I don't go to church Sunday night. I do watch Sunday night football.
Whatever the,
I usually keep it easy, just 12.
what do you think, Tiz?
Yeah,
It's our neighborhood.
Yeah, no, I mean, 12:30 I'm fine with, I mean, I don't think, you should just do it 7 days a week till 12:30, whether or not people are gonna, frequent the establishment on a Sunday night, we'll leave it up to them, I think it's more of a quieter night anyway.
you probably close early in
And
the
you don't
afternoon.
have to.
Probably
Yeah.
close
Just-
early.
Yeah.
Right, it doesn't have to.
Yeah, most,
Is
You know,
everybody
and
the
just
same
in case-
hour, like for serving last call, like in Wakefield? I don't know what's the hour for everybody.
12 o'clock,
Technically,
right?
for all restaurants, and serving alcohol, what's the technical hour? They're supposed to do the last
the
call.
latest possible is 2 o'clock, but it's restaurant by restaurant, and that's what we're setting right now. We're saying 12:30. Sure.
And I don't
Yeah, we
think-
haven't gone past 12 o'clock for any restaurant.
Okay.
Phyllis?
Yeah. Originally, you asked for it at 12 o'clock to midnight. I myself would prefer to have it stay at 12 o'clock. If, your business gets really busy and you see people, we could always extend it to 1 o'clock. But I really feel like we should leave it at 12 o'clock. That's my opinion.
So when would last call be? If you serve till 12:30, when is last call?
You guys make a decision, I could do it.
No, last call.
No, because I'm just asking, what is your protocol at, say, Reading, for
Reading,
instance?
last
Is it a
call.
half hour before you close?
No, we close by midnight. Reading can do last call until 12:30, but we do last call by 11:50. But anybody can stay to the restaurant to 1 o'clock in the morning. But everything need to be off the table by 1 o'clock. No, 12:30. All the drink need to be off the.
All the alcohol off the
Yeah.
table at
Then 1 o'clock,
12:30.
anybody
Okay.
leave the
Yeah,
establishment.
I see.
people- yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a Reading.
All right, that sounds good.
Perhaps, if the board might consider, through you, Mr. Chairman, the selectmen help, maybe 12:30 on Friday and Saturday, a little bit later, just Friday and Saturday.
I think we weren't going to 1, what about just 12:30? As a compromise, 12:30 all week, is that
Okay.
fine? Yeah. I think she was worried about it
Yeah.
going to 1 o'clock.
That's That's good.
Yep.
So 12:30 is probably, and that's when everything's gonna be cleaned up and over, so,
Okay.
all right. That'll work. Go ahead.
Brian, can you just go into the experience of the proposed manager?
Yes, just bear with me. As I mentioned, he is going to be tip certified, and he was employed at a restaurant in Louisiana by the name of New Nagoya Japanese Restaurant. He was the manager of that in Louisiana from October 2005 until February of 2010. And then he left there in April of 2010. He started working at a restaurant called Nagoya Hammond in Hammond, Louisiana. He was the manager there until just present, until he moved up to Massachusetts.
Can I say
So,
something?
yes,
He used to work for me for like 2 years before he moved to Louisiana in Stone, so South of two restaurant. Yeah.
and Kevin will be very involved in this restaurant, obviously. I mean, the Reading restaurant and this restaurant are very close, so he'll be going back and forth continually.
And for entertainment, you said 3 televisions, a CD player,
Mhm.
jukebox? Is that what-
Light jazz, maybe like a little light jazz band.
Similar to Reading.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's
Yeah.
light music.
I'm good.
Ready, good?
Yep.
So good. I think we have 4 things to do here, so stop me if so the first one, can I get a motion to grant an all alcoholic beverage license with the condition that the operating hours, the alcohol hours are 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 a.m., 7 days a week? Keep
So
it
moved.
simple.
Second.
All right, you got moved by Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can I get a motion that we grant a common victualler license?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We got a motion that we grant an entertainment license.
So moved.
Second.
Paul, seconded by Betsy.
Can make it specific to what they're requesting, Brian?
Sure, we'll do.
3 televisions, 1 jukebox, I guess, if that's what you call a CD player.
Yep.
And light jazz band.
Okay. So 3 televisions, 1 jukebox, and, live music, as long as it's light jazz,
We
that
don't want a
that
heavy metal
Friday.
band.
Oh, no.
Okay,
All in favor?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's unanimous. And last, can I get a motion that we make a finding that the proposed use of the restaurant and all the licenses we just granted, that together, those are not detrimental to the local school within 500 feet of the premises?
Churches.
And churches.
And that we're going to authorize the town administrator to draft the letter?
Yeah, well, under Mass General Laws, Chapter 138, Section 16C, in that we further that town administrator draft a letter to that effect.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
Great.
Mr. Chairman, if I might add, all the licenses, particularly the common vic license, is also subject to the Board of Health approval, of course. And that on the liquor license, per our policy, Brian, your client doesn't need to go to the police station and fill out all the forms. and
Yes, we have the
fingerprint
Corey
it.
forms all
And
filled out.
fingerprinted and what have
Yep.
you. Yeah, great.
Yep.
Okay. Betsy?
I have one quick question before you go. Are you gonna get another vanity license plate for your car?
That's my wife's though.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
All right, great. Best of luck to you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Can
Thank
I
you
get a
very-
motion to close the public hearing, please?
So moved.
We have,
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
do we not have another,
We don't.
okay? So move to close the public, move to close the public hearing.
Moved by Betsy finally, and seconded by Paul.
Aye.
Roll call, aye,
Aye.
aye,
Aye.
aye. Public hearing is now closed. We'll go back to our agenda. Where were we? Personnel and appointment. The first matter is the Commission on Disabilities. We need to appoint 4 people. There are 4 people who we have in front of us. I'll read their names. Judith Carmelia, Louis Jerema Benjamin, Daniel Benjamin Jr., and Alice Kohler. Can I get a motion to approve all 4?
Second.
Moved by Tiz, seconded by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Next is the Council on Aging. There's 1 one appointee, and one person has come forward, Gene Moulton at 58 Oak Street. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Moved by Tiz, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
The Permanent Building Committee, we need four, and there are four listed here. Elizabeth Martin, Philip Crosscup, Michael Giannatasio, and Charles Tarbell.
Second.
Moved by Tiz, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
The next one is the Historical Commission. We need one, and we have one, Daniel Benjamin Jr. Can I get a motion?
Second.
Tiz and Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
The Wakefield Cultural Council, again, we need one, and we've got one, Michael Salvatore. Moved by Tiz.
Second.
Second by Ann, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. The next one, is the Capital Planning Committee. We have, we need to appoint three people to the committee. We have five people who are interested. The five people are Antonio Sordillo, Daniel Calor, Cy Bodie, Lisa Butler, and Edward Dombrowski. So, maybe before we have a motion, or do we want to have a motion for three?
Good.
No, you go ahead.
Phyllis?
I know there's three of these people that are already on there, or two of them.
Two.
Just two, Cy Bodie and Lisa Butler. Antonio Sardillo and Daniel Calori and Edward Dombrowski. Did we receive any resumes or backgrounds about them? If they have, I haven't seen them.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're in your,
they're here.
And are they?
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yes.
And, okay, all right, at least I have an idea of what's going on. So, the procedure is to
Uh,
choose three, did you think?
Yeah, our committee needs to choose three, typically done by somebody making a motion for,
Okay,
we can do one by one, or we could do it by all three, or maybe have a little discussion first, I think.
Mr.
Paul
Chairman,
wanted to sp- Are you done, Phyllis? Or-
well, no, I have the three
the
that
moment.
I want to choose.
Okay.
Right.
Mr. Chairman, I have no objection to do them one at a time or three at a time. I'll make a motion that we put Lisa Butler on as a member of the Capital Planning Committee.
Second.
All right, moved by Paul, seconded by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Lisa
No.
Butler,
No,
No,
and one no, so, 5 in favor, Phyllis is against, that's Lisa Butler.
I'd like to place the name of Dan Calori in nomination.
Second.
Okay, Dan Calori, moved by Betsy, seconded by Paul. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
So that's unanimous.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion for Cy Bodie.
Okay.
Second.
All right, Cy Bodie, moved by Paul, seconded by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No,
And one, so 1 no and 5 in favor. All right.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Antonio Sordillo, after looking at his resume, has a background that I think would be fantastic on the FinCom, on the Finance Committee. That's his background. I think he would be wonderful there. And looking at the resume for last name is Dombrowski, I would think we have the Wakefield Alliance Against Violence, WAAV, and a lot of the background that was promoted in that resume, I think would be a great fit. Through you, if I could ask the town administrator
That's
maybe
a
to
great idea.
contact them, they may be interested in joining those two areas. FinCom being a little bit different from joining
Sure.
the WAVE, but I think their background certainly would lead right into that.
Sure, I think that's a great idea. I think we, whenever we have people who come forward and want to volunteer and help out the town, the last thing we want to do is tell them no. And, you know, the numbers mean we have to tonight, but I think that's a great idea.
Thank
So,
you.
how many have we chosen?
Three.
We've chosen three.
We've chosen two.
Three.
We've chosen the three already?
Yep.
We've already know who the three are?
Yeah, Lisa Butler, Cy, and Daniel Calor.
Okay.
All right, the next one up is the Cable Advisory Committee. There's, we need one, and there's one person here, James Lapry. Can I
So
get a
moved.
motion? Paul,
Second.
seconded by Betsy. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. Okay, next item, resignation of Mark Luca from the Commission on Disabilities. I don't think we need to take action on that, or?
I think you just accept it with
Accept it.
thanks.
Except with
Yes,
thanks.
it's accepted with thanks, okay.
I told him you weren't going to accept it. Mark has done a tremendous job with this committee, and I tried to talk him out of it the other day, but he has some reasons that he needs to take care of. So he's done a wonderful job, set up a website that they didn't have, and has really sensitized us to a lot of issues. He is going to remain on traffic advisory, though, so I thought that was good.
Move that we accept the resignation with thanks for all his service, Mac Luca, from the Commission on Disabilities.
Okay, moved by Betsy, second by Tiz. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous. Request from Ann Lucy from the Road Dog for peddler's license for Christian, is it Concessi, at 15 Lakeshore Drive. Got a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Tiz, second by Ann.
Discussion,
All in favor? Oh,
please.
discussion, go right ahead.
They are going to follow the rules that we set up, are they not?
Yes, yeah, this is the slush lady.
No,
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
well aware of it. Yeah, no, I know who it is, and it's certainly nothing personal, but they are going to move as the rules go. That's all I was interested in.
Well-
Thanks.
Side question to that. Are we enforcing that with the other peddlers as well, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, we are certainly working on that.
Okay, because we still have that one at the head of the lake
Yep,
that
we are,
refuses to
we are
move.
working on that diligently.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't want someone to point to an entity and saying, well, why isn't that one moving when you're forcing me to move? I don't want us to be caught into
For sure.
crossfires, that's right.
Good point, good point. All right, I think we had a motion and a second, we had discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Public hearing, we already did. The next item after that is to set a date for a public hearing for Socorro Organic downtown. They're our first applicant for outdoor seating, outdoor dining bylaw. So-
Second.
Well, I think Tiz just moved that we set it at our next meeting, right?
Yes.
Which is, what
Date.
date is it?
May 14th. The only
Oh, it's
issue
right
with
there.
that will be,
Sorry.
Mr. Chairman, is that the owner of Socorro would also like to, I'm assuming, extend his
Liquor
ability
license.
to serve alcohol in those outdoor seatings. That may take a little bit more time because of filing requirements with the ABCC. I think it's up to this board. Bring them in here, get them outside, and then they can do that at a later date, if that's the board's purview.
I agree.
It would be on Wednesday, May.
Right, that's May 14th. That's assuming, you know.
Yeah,
there's a
town meeting goes
meeting,
3
yeah.
nights, okay.
Mr. Chair, Steve, when we passed the new alcohol regulations, didn't we specifically have something about outdoor seating? Oh, as long as they follow the ABBC, I thought.
Yes, but they are now changing the footprint of where they're choosing alcohol, serving alcohol. So that needs to go
Got it.
back to the ABCC.
I see, okay, yep, makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, so that, I forget where we were in that. I think we had Tiz made a motion to schedule the hearing for the 14th. Betsy, you seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay,
Did we have a
great.
time specific that night?
7:40.
7:40 is good.
7:40 seems
Usually,
good.
that sounds great. Yeah. Okay, number 7A, request from Sharon Gilly to donate library discards to the Friends of the Library. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Tiz, all in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Request from Sherry Gilly to accept and expend a gift to the library in the amount of $1,328 from various donors, with thanks.
So moved.
Moved by
Second.
Tiz, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Request from Lieutenant Scory, Chairman of the Traffic Advisory Committee, regarding the Cedar Street, Prospect Street intersection.
I think you
I
might
think
call.
we'd like to have him
You might call.
come right up and, how are you?
Good evening.
How are you? Everyone's smiling, this is good. Maybe not.
Thanks.
Yeah, I think they all have it.
I'll take one, I'd love to have one in
Yeah,
front
it's
of
on
me.
the.
Paper is always good.
I've got it right
Paper
here.
is always good.
I don't like trees.
I've got one right here, Raj.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Lieutenant Scorridge, your request, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman. Several months ago, the Traffic Advisory Committee was here to discuss the changes that had occurred to the Cedar Prospect Street intersection, namely being the do not enter signs that were installed on that short little section of Cedar Street. There's been some opposition to that, and the board had asked the Traffic Advisory Committee to go back to the drawing board, maybe come up with a new plan on ways to improve that intersection from the way it currently stands. The DPW came up with a number of plans that the Traffic Advisory Committee reviewed. We picked out one in particular that we thought really enhanced the intersection from where it is now, and the changes made would, I think, alleviate some of the concerns that Mr. Maloney brought to that meeting. I am by no means a traffic engineer. Everybody has the plan in front of them. I'd like to invite Mr. Stinson up here to help me explain these changes.
There you go.
There you go.
No escape.
You know, one of the things, I'll bring up the topics here, and if he has anything to enhance it. The width of Cedar Street, where that traffic island is, where it makes the approach to Prospect Street, is a little narrow. This new plan that you have in front of you calls for widening out that section of roadway on Cedar Street, and it calls for bringing in the curb on the, what would be the northwest corner of that island. It would require moving a fire hydrant and relocating the stop sign. But by bringing that curb in, it allows for better turning movement, making a left turn off of Prospect Street onto Cedar Street, and it also widens out the sight lines for the people that exit Cedar Street onto Prospect. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think it's a big improvement from what's there now, because it does, right now, there's not proper width for the roadway, and this will give proper width in that location.
One of the other concerns that Mr. Maloney brought to the table last time was the turning movement for fire engines. By bringing that curb in and widening the roadway, it allows enough space for a fire engine to make that left turn from Prospect onto Cedar. And by hash marking half of that one-way section of that little Cedar Street section, it would allow, if it was necessary, for a fire engine to come up the wrong way on that hash mark section there.
Great.
They're rather simple changes to the intersection. We're basically making the island smaller, but we think it's going to be more effective and make it more convenient for everybody.
That's great. Any comments?
No,
Tiz?
I-
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I take this left 30 times a day, so I think it's perfect. It feels like it just needs a little tweaking to take it comfortably, and I come out of that street all the time, so I think that's a great improvement that seems to work well and fairly easily to
Yes.
cure the problem. So, good job.
Thank you.
Tiz?
Rick, I'm for this as well. This looks like it's a great plan. And this is within your budget? This is gonna be done within your budget?
Yes,
Budget
after July.
after July?
Yeah, unless Steve wants to give me a reserve fund transfer.
No, I don't
Very,
think he
very
does.
dirty words.
Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, and so I guess the action here is to approve your request for, to redesign the, go ahead, sir.
I do have some comments in what the sergeant, or lieutenant, excuse me, was saying about this whole project. First, I want to congratulate Mike Collins and his engineers for doing a good job in redefining that island. That's a tough island to start with. Where we talked about the fire department coming up there and taking a left-hand turn, they're making it about an 8-foot sweep there. You're gaining, I guess, they're shortening it up about 2 feet. But the problem that you're gonna have here is the white line that goes across and the stop sign that's set back now than what it was before. So when you look at cars coming down Prospect Street, they got a hard time to see what's coming down there, and they fly down there, all right, to start with. Secondly, all the damage that is here that has affected the thing is because the cars going up Prospect Street, maybe 2, 3, have to wait for those cars to come down to make that turn around there, all right? And that same thing is gonna prevail, because if you're stopped at that stop sign to go across to Elm Street, or up Prospect, whatever, you can, I've showed pictures of how close the cars are coming down and making a turn on the inside. How much is that gonna affect? I'd say probably a little bit, but, the main factor is that's the narrowest part of the street going up there, and that's where they back up. I'm not saying it happens every time, but it happens quite often. Now, going back to the spot on the other side where they lined it off for supposedly fire department to go up there, I do not want anyone in this town going on a one-way street where it says do not enter, going up that part where it says do not enter, and some car comes down and creams them. We've had enough problem in this town about 15 years ago where it cost the police department chasing a car, and they hit a large-scale car up there and killed the people. I mean, I don't want that to happen in here. That corner should be opened up, like I said, do not enter, because in 70 years, it's never had an accident in there. I applaud the fact that they've opened that thing up about maybe 35 feet from the corner up to the corner, from the corner of the one Prospect Street. As you can see, it's approximately 25 feet in the middle and roughly about 20 feet. So it's given a good opening to drive up there with no resistance on have to fight that issue going up and around the bend. I take this because that's the biggest part of the, and I said this before, when you entered into the original opening, that was the widest part of the street, all right, that you could do that and come up there. We've entered into the picture of bringing these cars up and getting back up here. That's what I'm trying to prevent here for the most part. I suggest very strongly that you people say do not enter and let's see how the thing goes. It's never, because someone in this town wrote a letter that the traffic is unbelievable. It's all over the place. We know that. But this particular part going up here should not affect anything about vehicles being stopped and waiting for traffic to come down. Now, that's coming down Prospect Street. It's busy right now. Forget about the winter. That's even something else. They had a tractor trailer, as you know, Lieutenant. He couldn't make the hill right there where the problem is. You people had to back him down. I don't know where the heck he went after that. Elm Street, I guess. But my suggestion overall, in looking at this thing, and I've looked at it pretty closely, is to put granite curbing going down where this one Prospect Street, excuse me, right down there, down to his driveway, come around the other side. It's got granite curbing already on Prospect Street, and wrap that right around and pick up the cemented sidewalk that's on Emerson Street. It'd make a nice loop. It's right there, and it would give the person a small sidewalk going down the ramp. I mean, down by his yard. The rest of it, I think Mr. Stenson's group did a good job in shortening it up. Sure, there's a lot of people that go up now because the sign says do not enter. Now, I'm gonna say one thing, and I'll stop. The person at Prospect Street has been observed a few times at least, coming up Prospect Street, taking a left-hand turn, coming down, taking another left-hand turn, and going in his driveway, because he doesn't want to go through do not enter signs. That part of it I agree, but to enter into the guy's driveway and he has to go all around that loop, hey, he wants to do it, but I mean, I suggest you people in here vote not to put do not enter sign at this point. For 70 years, we've been in there. I don't even want to get into the fire department thing, because you got a new ladder truck coming here shortly. And the way it goes from there. I leave it with you people to vote for it.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney.
Thank you.
Paul?
A question. I appreciate all the work that the engineering department did, Lieutenant, all your work. But I do have a question. We widened the road considerably by making it. The initial reason for putting the do not enter sign was because the road was narrow, correct?
No,
Why was the do not enter sign?
there were
put in?
two important reasons that we looked at. Number one was with the new island that is on Prospect Street, which is required due to the railroad regulations.
Further
at
down.
road crossings.
Okay.
Which is fairly close to where those do not enter signs are. If traffic was to stop there to make a left turn onto that little shortcut to Cedar Street,
Right,
you pose the problem of traffic now backing up against that island and possibly over the tracks back down into North Ave if you have a heavy congestion of traffic. So what we've done is we've moved that left turning movement further west on Prospect Street.
bringing them further up the hill.
Correct. The other reason, do you want to say something?
Yeah, just one, we didn't, the part that is one way with the do not enters has not been widened, okay? That is the existing width there now. What we're doing is painting the hash marked area out there.
Oh, you're not, so the
That's
picture
not
doesn't
widened.
depict it
The
being
part
made
that's
wide.
Right, the part that's
No.
widening is the
Oh.
upper part. Okay? So the upper part is being widened.
The old curve goes right through the G in sign,
Right.
street sign.
Right, so the work is all on the westerly
right.
side, it's nothing to do on the easterly
Right, just
side.
painting.
Just closing down the
Just
other
paint,
lane.
I got you.
So in other words, you're still widening, narrowing that green area. But you got the lines going in there, in front of it.
Right, the roadway width there would be the same. It'll just be striped.
Yeah.
So you're making the road,
But that
instead of a
never was
25-foot
that
road,
wide, that-
instead of a 25-foot road, you're making it now a 14-foot travel way.
Correct.
That's what you're doing.
Correct.
So you're not making it so that it can be, you're actually enhancing the fact that it's one way.
Right.
Because you're striping it to make sure that people realize that they cannot go up the opposite way.
Correct.
Right.
So you're enhancing the do not enter.
Correct.
It's not that you're widening it. Okay.
And what was the reason? Because I asked that question in the traffic advisory thing, and Mr. Kennedy said that he thought it had something to do with the railroad, and that's wrong. I called the railroad engineers, and they had nothing to do with blocking that road where it said do not enter.
I don't remember him saying that, but.
He did, straight and right.
What he explained to you was what I just explained about the island being required because of the railroad crossing. So we decided as a traffic advisory committee to make a safer situation by moving that left-hand turn further up Prospect Street.
The island that was required was the one that's in the middle of Prospect
Right.
Street.
Right.
Just out of curiosity, Rick, just to refresh my memory real quickly, how close is that island, if you could, by looking at this picture, to that one-way? How would you, to that curb, to the curb?
That, if you remember, you have Emerson Street going east, down farther, and you can actually come out of, you're not supposed to, but you can come out of Emerson Street and take a left, even though it says no left turn. Okay?
That's
So
the
it
one right at the
only-
laundromat, correct?
Right, so it only goes
No.
up to about the laundromat.
No, but
Yeah.
he's also taking a right-hand turn coming out of Emerson Street, right?
That's all you're supposed to
You're
do.
supposed to just take a break.
Yeah.
Right, so when you come out of Emerson, that's right where the island is,
Correct.
right where the laundromat is. You're only supposed to make a right-hand turn at that
Right,
point,
and
correct?
that was before the island, you were only supposed to.
That's
make a
right, so
right-hand
now with the island there, it's even worse, to try to wiggle your way around to make a left-hand turn, correct?
Well,
Or
you
can
were never supposed to make a left.
I know you
turn.
weren't supposed to, but it's even harder now with the
It's
island.
hard.
Because I'm trying to get a picture where the island is visually, because I just
Right.
can't
You can
focus
do
on
it, but you.
Right,
it's
okay.
It's tougher to do now.
Yeah.
Okay. Phyllis?
I travel up there a lot, and I do appreciate what the engineering department has done or what they're trying to do. But there has never been a problem before they put the do not enter sign. Since we put the do not enter sign, it seems like there's more of a problem. We never had a problem. One person complains, and I have to agree with Mr. Maloney. I think that do not enter sign should come down, it should be the way it was, We haven't had any accidents up there. I'm up there all the time. I find that do not enter sign a nuisance. And I don't care what they do at the road. I know the engineering department worked hard, but I still feel like that do not enter sign should not be there.
Okay. Anybody else have comments? Betsy? Yeah, you good?
I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the plan as presented by Lieutenant Scory and Rick Stinson of DPW.
Second.
Second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
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 What's the vote there, please?
I'm not in favor.
All right.
Okay, there's, any,
He's called for the ayes.
just 3 ayes? Okay.
Oh,
Huh?
No, there's 3 ayes. And
how did you vote?
who's opposed?
Opposed.
Oh,
Who's opposed?
I am.
Phyllis, you're opposed?
I'm voting against the
Right.
sign.
Yes, so
It's-
it's,
right.
So
It's,
three,
what,
three.
what is it again? 3 opposed
It's
to?
3-3.
to
it's
the-
3 in favor and 3 opposed.
Yeah,
And
that's right.
Motion
absent,
fails.
Is the motion prevails? Is that?
Motion
Motion
fails.
fails.
Fails?
Fails.
They said prevails, I was like,
No,
Motion
no,
fails.
fails.
so the motion fails.
That's a shame.
Now
Mr.
comes-
Chairman, in lieu of the fact that the motion went 3-3, I'm going to ask that we postpone this meeting till, vote until our next meeting, where we will have a full board.
Well, it's,
That's, all right.
so it's not a hearing, so we don't think we need
No,
to
but
do that
we-
per se.
but the vote.
But I would encourage Lieutenant Scory to make the same request again at our next meeting.
Because one thing I want to add, you did vote the do not enter signs before, so they're going to stay in place.
Right.
Because nothing's changed.
Right.
Temporarily until it goes one way or the other.
No,
No,
What?
do not enter sign is still there. This
Yeah.
is, the do not
What?
enter sign is not the
We're not
issue.
voting on the do not enter sign,
What were you voting on?
on the proposal before us, Roger. We're not here to, there's no motion made to remove the do not enter sign.
The changes
Well, that
show,
was mine. I said it right here.
no, so,
But
so,
what
so,
you
hold
said
on,
and what
hold
was
on,
on the
hold on.
floor.
So all we could act on is what's before us, which is a proposal, which was on the agenda. The proposal from Lieutenant Scory, which included a letter and this plan. And what he has asked is that we approve, I'll summarize it as we relocate the street sign.
Yeah.
There's some new granite curb, the hydrant needs to be relocated, there's a new stop sign has to be put in, and then obviously the road widened and striped. So those are the only parts of his proposal that he requested approval on. No part of his proposal asked to remove the do not enter sign. So his proposal, which is the one we were acting on, was just failed. We're not doing that, and so the island will remain tomorrow as it is today until further action.
That's right, but I made a motion here, or not a motion, but a movement that do not enter be eliminated.
Yeah, I don't think we can act on that, just so you know,
Well, I'll put it, all right.
right?
I
Mr.
will put
Chairman.
it in
Mr.
writing.
And hold on one sec, I don't know, Mr. Mullen's not here, but, I believe that any proposed changes to our, to traffic in the town has to go through the Traffic Advisory Committee, or am I wrong?
Not all of them, but that's our policy.
That's why we're
That's our
here.
policy?
Yeah.
So,
That's why we're here, because I've been twice to the traffic advisory and twice to you people.
Certain regulatory matters need to be
So
voted on by
we're
this
right
board.
here. That's what we were trying to do tonight.
all right.
Okay, Mr. Chairman.
And it was to eliminate that do not enter sign. But we'll put it in writing for the next time.
Can I change my vote?
Sorry about that, that's just,
What? No.
I said sorry
I think
about
you
that.
want to
I
ask
just
for
wanna make
Well,
sure.
if you don't
Mr.
come to
Chairman,
the
may, a
meetings.
point of order, please.
Hold on, we have a point of order from Mr. Dinoco, yes.
Can I have gained permission from you to reconsider the previous vote?
Sure.
Enlighten, as I've been enlightened with what have been just
Yes.
discussed, and where the do not enter sign is not being
Removed.
part of this proposal, I will change my vote to approval.
Okay, so I believe we need a 2/3 vote.
You
I think
to-
you want to vote
Two-thirds
to
vote.
reconsider.
Okay, so Mr. Dinoco has made a motion to reconsider the previous vote.
I will second the reconsideration, his request
Betsy
to
has.
reconsider.
Any
Betsy-
discussion?
Betsy has
Excuse me?
seconded.
Consideration?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
this is for reconsideration.
This is just whether or not we reconsider.
okay.
Whether or
That's
not
it.
we revote.
Yeah, so Paul has made a motion that we reconsider, Betsy has seconded it. All in favor of reconsidering the last
Four
vote?
votes.
Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so that, hold please, sir, just one second, so
I
that's.
had my hand up before you made the.
Now you're voting again.
Yeah, so we, have- you know, our board business takes precedence. We had a motion that we have to act on. Just, we'll get to you, just bear with me.
I've been on the selectmen before, I know how it goes. I had my hand up.
So, 6 members have voted in favor of reconsidering, that obviously passes the 2/3 requirement. So we shall reconsider the prior vote. The prior motion was Tiz's motion to adopt the plan as presented by Lieutenant Scory. Is there a discussion on the motion among the board first? We've discussed it.
Actually, I'd like to add something.
Sure.
Based on the focus on the do not enter. Again, I probably, at this table, am the person who uses this the most every single day.
No.
Yeah, probably, Mr. Maloney. When I go, that one way is important in light of the island, because you have people coming down the one way who have to scoot over and take a left onto North Ave with the 2 lights at the North Ave Railroad crossing. I think that would be much more difficult if there were 2 traffic lanes coming up, because even though there are white lines here, you still, it's much easier to navigate and safer to navigate if cars are not coming at you, to scoot over to take that left crossing the railroad line. So that's why, as someone who uses this many times a day, I can appreciate it's different and you're getting used to it being a one-way, but I feel like it's safer to exit onto Prospect to cross.
Board members, any other discussion on that? For the moment?
Phyllis shed her hand.
No,
No, okay.
go ahead, sir.
Question.
Go ahead, sir.
In regards to what Paul was talking, you have one member absent today, all right, and you didn't make the final vote, they were tied. How can you turn around and change the vote now for that?
I
Because-
made a motion to reconsider.
No,
Hold
that
on,
was when
hold on,
I
guys.
had my hand up ahead of time,
So-
but he
I
didn't
take
see me.
precedence.
Sir. Under our rules, Mr. Donaco made a point of order, which is a superior motion to all other discussion. We have to stop the meeting and address his point of order, which is what we did, regardless of whose hand up, who signed in for public participation, whatever camera was on or off, we stopped the meeting and we addressed his point of order. That is the rules we live by, the rules we abide by, and the rules we just implemented. So we just executed that. He made a proper motion for reconsideration. It was voted on properly, and now it's being reconsidered. Would you, I told you I'd give you an opportunity to speak, recognizing your hand.
Now you do it.
Yeah, I do, and so
Yeah.
I'd love to hear your comments on the plan if you have additional.
Additional?
Go ahead, if you have additional.
Sure. To get back into the thing a little bit about it is, majority of accidents, in fact, as I said, nothing was here to answer Ann's question in 70 years coming up there. But going across is where all the accidents, there's been 7 roughly, from Prospect Street, Cedar going across the Elm and coming up Prospect Street. That's where all the accidents happen, right over there. That's what we're basically trying to eliminate, even though they cut the thing 8 feet around, make the difference. You still got the problem there with the cars flying down the hill. The point is, and I still stand by it, is that I said that I wanted those the street light, the do not enter signs basically eliminated by the board. And that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
didn't
no,
have my
no,
hand
I
up,
got you.
but the motion was made to change it, and I feel that if they weren't here to answer the question, it was tied 3-3. Now it changes the motion to make it different.
So, just real quick, nobody changed the motion. It was just reconsideration. It's part of the rules of order that we operate under, and it was properly executed.
I gotta disagree with you. He voted the other way the first time, and he changes it now.
Yes.
Hold on.
So don't tell me they didn't, that
Mr.
that
Chairman,
everything
I'll
went
speak to
smooth.
it. Let me speak, it's my
Ju-
vote.
Just to be clear, nobody changed the motion. We're just reconsidering the vote we took on Mr. Dodo's motion. And Paul, if you'd like to address why you made a motion for reconsideration.
The
go ahead.
reason why I voted for reconsideration, Mr. Maloney, is because it did not include the do not enter sign. So I, in turn, said if it did not include the do not enter, I would like to reconsider and deal with the original motion. This does not deal with the removal of the do not enter sign. I acted accordingly to the motion that was on the table. I asked at that point for reconsideration to the previous motion. I did everything legally, per the book. So, don't say we did something strange. I did it the way it was supposed to be done.
Yeah, by changing the vote.
I asked for
Yeah, because it was a 3-3 vote before.
It was a 3-3
And then you
vote.
changed
based-
it after.
Sir, hold on, Paul.
Okay?
Sir, the outcome.
That's what it's about.
Sir, the outcome of the prior vote, or how many people are here, has no bearing on whether a motion for reconsideration is proper. It is proper. At all times, it can always be adopted. It's just how it works.
It'll have to come up again, that's all.
Yeah, I don't have the power I took a vote, the board voted unanimously. I don't have the power, nor does any individual here have the power to decide not to do that, so.
Mr. Chairman,
go
also,
ahead.
it's a person on the, as we know, on the prevailing side that can bring up reconsideration, not on, and the motion went down, so the
Right.
prevailing side that put
What's
it
that?
down is more.
Good point.
Yeah, okay.
Good point. So, okay, with that said, any more discussion from board members on the motion, on Mr. Dodo's motion to accept the plan as presented to us? No
Bless you.
discussion. All in favor of adopting the plan that was presented to us tonight? Aye.
As presented, aye.
Without the do not enter
Right.
sign, it has nothing to do with that, all right.
Is that 4 yeses?
5, 6.
May I ask a
1,
question?
2, 3, 4, 5.
So, you hold one well, actually,
Let her ask.
go ahead. Sure.
Oh,
Go ahead.
are we gonna get an opportunity to vote again on the do not enter sign, or is this a done deal now?
It's a done deal, except I suspect if somebody brings that before us in the future, we'd have to consider it in the future,
Okay.
as in 2 weeks from now.
I'm not voting in favor of
Okay,
this.
so that's 5, just to be clear, anybody tell me if I'm wrong, that was a little interesting. 5 in favor and 1 opposed of adopting the plan.
Yes,
Yes.
correct.
Okay. All right. So, it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Maloney, that's confusing, but,
You know, hey, you gotta take it with both parts, don't worry about
all right.
it. We're not here to.
We like to be very respectful of people who come in.
Well,
so-
we all are.
Yeah.
I'm in the other way too, all right?
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next matter on our agenda is the reopening of the utility pole hearing on Lafayette Street for May 14th, 2014. And moved by Tiz.
Second.
Second by Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
We'll set that for 8 o'clock.
Sorry, yeah, 8 o'clock is fine. Licenses, permits, and approvals. A request from Carol Bird Poto and Leah A. Brown for a peddler license. I believe the applicants are here if we want to hear from them.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hi.
How are you?
My daughter Leah and I have been Wakefield residents for over 30 years and been walking the lake. And as you know, many people come from all over to walk the lake. And your healthy choice of walking the lake to purchase something is from the so-called slush lady, a hot dog or sausage. My daughter and I are presenters at the National Down Syndrome Convention every year on eating healthy and staying fit. And Leah has been underemployed for the past few years due to the economy, and I recently retired, so we came up with the idea of Leah's by the Lake to offer healthy snacks to all the walkers of the lake. Everything we'll sell will be for $1, so it'll be reasonable. Everything from juice boxes to cereal bars. We were not going to offer anything that has to be cooked or refrigerated, so we're going to keep it simple. Myself or Leah has mentors, will always be with Leah. And it's really going to be like maybe 9 to 12, hopefully down near the playground at the head of the lake. And I think it would be a great opportunity for people to have some healthy choices. And I'm glad mention was made about people having to abide by the 2-hour move, which is a good thing, really. So we're hoping to be able to
Wonderful.
do Leah's by the lake, right?
Nice job,
Yes.
Leah.
Good job.
Very good.
Any comments around the table?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve this request.
Thank
Approved
you.
by Betsy, second by Tiz. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So
Thank you.
best of luck to
Good
you.
luck.
Sounds-
Good luck.
Sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
I think it's a great idea. I mean, I love how you said it. You can get
Yeah.
a sausage or a hot dog. So
Yeah,
good for
yeah,
you.
really. And the cheapest thing is $3.50.
Yeah.
If you're walking the lake
Sure.
with young children, you know, so you're only, and they're thirsty,
Right.
they're forced to buy slush.
Right,
So,
right. Good for you.
yeah, healthy competition.
I think
Okay,
it's
thank
great.
you.
Thank you very much, and thanks for waiting.
I know.
Sorry
It's
about that.
quite
Yeah.
interesting. I may have to volunteer on a board.
Ah, Careful what you say.
You might get what you
Careful
wish
what you
for.
wish for.
All right, the next one is request from Marie Spindler for a one-day liquor license on June 14th from noon until 3 at Most Blessed Sacrament Church. Can I
So
get a
moved.
motion?
Second.
Betsy, second by Paul, all in favor?
Aye.
The next one is a request from the Knights of Columbus Building Association for a change of manager. Excuse me, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Paul, second by Betsy, all in favor?
Aye.
And now we'll go to comments. Town council's not here, so Mr. Mayo.
Yes,
You're up.
very quickly, this was one of the first meetings that we implemented the reappointments and appointments of people having to apply. And you can see we got a few more applicants, so I do want to
job,
thank
Phyllis.
Phyllis for that, putting that through town meeting. That got a few more people applying. I think we got some good candidates for some other boards as well, as Betsy pointed out. So want to thank you. And I do want to thank Tiz for being an excellent chair. So that's excellent twice tonight. Tiz.
Excellent.
Pleasure to work with you.
Excellent,
And I
Tiz.
know I speak for Sherry as well, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve.
Okay.
Phyllis?
I have something nice.
Nice.
I have from the Star of Bethlehem Lodge, from the trustee, Philip Salois. He has given us a $500 check for the maintenance of the World War II Memorial.
Tremendous.
And also, he has given us another $500 check from the lodge and from trustee Philip Salois for the Wakefield Council of Aging.
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
Excellent.
With
Motion
thanks.
To accept both.
Yeah, I think we should do that, right?
Yeah.
So, somebody like to make a motion
Make a motion to accept.
With thanks, second.
With thanks.
Right.
Betsy, seconded. All in favor of
Aye.
accepting the gifts? Aye. That's unanimous. Nice job, Phyllis.
Thank you.
Keep filling the coffers with those gifts.
There you go, yeah. Always comes in handy. I have nothing for you tonight, sir.
Wonderful.
I would like to congratulate you, Brian, on your election to chair. I would like to congratulate Ian, election to vice chair, and I would also like to thank Tiz, having worked side by side with him literally last year. It was a wonderful year. He's a great guy to work with, and very cooperative and very sensitive to the issues, although he's silent at times. But he knows everything that's going on. I would also like to congratulate all of those that were elected on April 22nd, and Ann Danahy and Chris Callahan that were returned to the school committee. I would like to congratulate Pat Glynn, and I'd like to congratulate myself, thank you very much. You one-way streets. Thank you.
Food pantry?
Yeah, oh, I'm sorry.
Heaven forbid you forgot.
I know.
That would have been like.
30
sweet.
lashes.
I know.
And
Please
it-
please don't forget the food pantry. Thanks.
Oh. What do we got?
Tiz.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank this board, Steve, Sherry, Tom Mullen, for this past year and all your support. It was very appreciated. It's not an easy job, so Brian, good luck. And I just want to say thank you. So congratulations on Pat and Betsy for their reelection. And that is basically it.
Great.
Thank you.
Ann?
I'd also like to congratulate Betsy and Pat, absolutely, and thank Tiz as the newbie on the board. It was a nice board to learn from. I think we all have different leadership styles. I learned a lot from yours, silent, but completely authoritative when need be. So, thank you for your service. And May 5th, come out to town meeting. It should be a boring one, I'm sure, not a lot of attendance. But honestly, it's such an important issue that I feel passionately about in the best interest of this town. So whether you agree or not with certain of the articles, please come out. Thank you.
Great, thanks. I'll finish. I'll start by just commending Paul, you and your whole crew.
That wasn't my whole crew.
Well,
I was
whoever it
I'm a
was.
chronic volunteer, sir, but thank you.
How do you even know what I'm going to talk about?
Well, because it's not my crew.
No, another wildly successful Blossoms at BB over the weekend. Personally, I think that's the single best event in the entire town, period, hands down. It's, we really show our colors. It's just a classy, wonderful event. Makes me feel great about living here. I enjoy it every year, and congratulations again to you and all the others who put it together.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. I'll pass the word on to the chairwoman.
Please do.
Susan
Who's
Wetmore.
that? Susan Wetmore. So
Yes.
Susan, to you out there, if you're watching, congratulations to you too. So nice job all around. Yeah, I'll obviously echo what Ann said. Monday night is town meeting. The issues that probably, as Ann said, nobody will be interested in talking about, the garage, will be on the agenda. And for those of you who try to schedule things and are used to going to town meeting and you spend a lot of time waiting, remember that we intentionally, to be convenient for people, knowing it's the hot topic, put the garage agenda items first. So 1 and 2 on the town meeting warrant. So those will be the first things considered. So show up promptly right at 7:30. We'll bust right into the meeting after we say the Pledge of Allegiance per Phyllis, and we'll deal with the garage. And I hope everybody has a great opportunity to really investigate the deal. I know there was a lot of, quite frankly, misinformation and misunderstanding out there the last few times this was considered. I encourage folks to watch the forum, which is available. I think there's a link on the town website. There's a link on the Vote Yes Wakefield website. It's voteyeswakefield.com. And WCAT will be rebroadcasting it, I think, with great frequency over this week. My sense and my understanding in talking to people is that anybody that watches the forum and sees the facts, sees the whole thing presented, and sees the concerns raised and then discussed and responded to directly, will understand that this is such a great project for the town. So it's not a giveaway. We're getting $1.5 million in value for our land, plus $11.6 million in incremental tax revenue over a period of years, plus a free garage with 123 spaces that we own. So those are the points. If you don't believe it, go watch the forum and certainly come to town meeting, and we'll be talking about it then. I think the deal, quite frankly, just sounds too good to be true for people. That's why there's been suggestions there must be some side deal or something. There's nothing out there. It's just a great example of a public-private partnership coming together and working for the benefit of everyone. And so Wakefield has an opportunity in front of it to do something wonderful at no incremental cost to the taxpayers at all. So that's why this board's in unanimous favor of it. The FinCom's unanimously in favor of it. And I hope the town is overwhelmingly in favor of it once it's fully understood. So hope to see everyone on Monday night. Thank you very much, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, sir.
Moved by Paul, second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.